Hiya Dale, great to meet up with you the other morning and do some work on your game. Quick recap on the key points that we covered. What we saw at the start of the session was a player who was taking the club back a little bit too much behind him, hands a little bit too deep at P3. We would want ideally the hands to be bisecting the bottom of the right bicep, so a little bit too deep at that point. Club gets very much behind the right shoulder, if you will, butt of the club too far behind the right shoulder. We'd prefer to see it in this sort of position, so very much on the inside. Then we have a very quick extension. You can see that right knee going in, the hips tucking under, the head coming away from the wall, and the inclination to the ground has been lost. That's going to produce a lot of heel strikes. As you stand up, that left arm is being pulled outwards. The club's coming too much from the inside, and there you go, straight at the heel as you're coming into the golf ball, hitting out excessively with a high rate of closure. And you can see as you come through, all your inclination to the ground has been lost. So we're too deep, and we're tucking the hips too soon, right knee flexing forward too much, right heel coming off the ground too quick. So the exercise that we discussed, let's make sure this is a drill swing. More towards the end of your session, I beg your pardon. The first feel was to swing the club to a point that was a little bit more over the right shoulder. And what we also did was we put the cane down here and discussed what the right knee should be doing. The right knee should be going from extension, then flexing forward, before then extending again. And you can see when you do that and you put that sort of a little bit of a different spin on things, and we don't tuck the hips, by controlling that right knee we're not able to tuck the hips quite as quickly. The club starts to come out in front of us a little bit more at P6. Isn't lost behind us, so the extension, the standing up and the loss of inclination is causing the club to tumble behind us at 6. Towards the end of your session, this is you working on the right leg being straighter, controlling the rate at which that right knee can bend. You can see there, sorry, I do beg your pardon, this is early in your session when we worked on the right leg straight. You were working on trying to curtail the rate at which that right leg flexed and shot forward during the downswing. And you can see there that your inclination has still been lost, but not to the same degree that you see at the start of your session. Towards the end of your session, the hips are nearer to the wall, the head is nearer to the wall, there's more flexion, and as a result, the club is less in behind your hands at P6. So you've seen a nice progression there from start of the session, midway through the session, sorry for the mix up on that, and then end of the session. So club less in at 6. We then sync those up and run these through. More of a centered strike, so the club approaching the golf ball now, less in the heel, more towards the centre as the lesson has gone on. So we've gone from well outside the heel, or well towards the heel, slightly more to the centre, and then making a more centred contact at the end of your session. Also, as you come through on the bottom left, we're going to hit out at the golf ball for less. We're going to maintain our inclination to the ground longer. And again, you can see how from top left to bottom left, the exit has lowered progressively through the session. Inclination to the ground maintained, follow through tidied up as well. The hands and the arms aren't collapsing quite as quickly, so less of a release through impact. So learning to get back into flexion with the lower body in the correct manner before extending, controlling the right knee, allowing you to maintain your inclination to the ground. Good luck with it, and look forward to working with you again in a few weeks' time. Well done.